morning. Let's get moving. Grab a set of dumbbells and we're going to stay standing on our mat to begin. We're going to come into a closed parallel position with our knees and toes glued together. Palms are going to come down. And we're going to start with a hip crease and a knee bend. It's going to be an exhale, sliding down into a plie, inhaling as we raise up. We're just getting things warmed up through the core, through the hips, through the knees, through the ankles. Exhaling down, sitting bones are broadening. Inhaling as we raise. Straight away you can add the arms out to the sides if that feels like a good choice in your body today. Maybe, maybe not. Inhale, rise up. Exhale as we lower down. You can always set those dumbbells down if they get spicy. Thinking about reaching the collarbones up towards the elbows and the fingertips beyond the sides of the room. As you lower down, check in with your legs, making sure we are loading equally into the soles of our feet, making sure we're finding balls of feet, inner foot, outer foot, and the heels. And making sure that as we go down, we're not allowing the knees to separate and roll out. So keep that all in line, deeply connected and grounded through the floor and the ground below you. Let's hold this next one in our plie, hold and breathe. We're going to rotate the upper arms so that our palms flip upbound. And then we're going to peel the right heel off of the mat about halfway. Did you lean? Did your knee kick out? Maybe, maybe not. Get it all back and organized. Put that heel back down. Left heel picks up. So we're going to do an isometric hold with these weights. At any point you can set them down. We're going to peel the right heel up and then the left. You can do this at your own pace. We just don't want to shift our weight side to side. We want to stay as centered as possible and keep your big toe, second toe anchored on your mat. Thinking about shoulder blades melting down and around the rib basket. Let's hold the right heel up, hold and breathe. And then we're going to invite the left heel off of the mat as well. Beautiful. Magnetize those outer thighs. Think about sending an inhale breath across your middle back. We've been practicing with that red band around our ribs, so see if we can give that a shot. You can glue your eyes ahead of you. You guys have a pretty nice sunset to look at over my shoulder. Everyone breathing. Get a little bit lower, sitting bones broadening, thigh bones sinking deeply into the pelvis, a little bit lower. Holding and breathing. All 10 toes are actively imprinting into the mat for 5, for 4. We're going to use that yoga block in 3, 2. Both heels go down. Inhale, bring it up. All right. Let's go ahead and set the dumbbells aside. We're going to lay on our left hip and the yoga block's going to go under your left hip. So we're going to use it kind of as a little balancing point for us for our sideline seats this morning. So you're going to find the bony bit underneath your left hip. You can bring your left elbow down onto the mat and then extend your legs long. So adjust as needed. Once you've found that, this gives us a little more space on our elbow and our forearm. So you're going to lift up and off the elbow, melt the left shoulder blade down and around the ribs, and then lengthen both sides of your waistline. From here, we are going to hover both legs off of the mat, reaching really, really long, and get your head in line with your spine. We feeling good already? It's a good time? All right, from here, gang, we're going to start with some small scissors. So we're going to think about the upper inner thighs doing the scissoring. We're going to stay definitely well within the frame of our mat. We're not going to sweep the legs very wide at all, and we're just scissoring the legs back and forth. Using the forearm, using the palm, using the strength of the core to stabilize your balance. Reaching the crown of head long away from your toes as we work. Additional challenge, you can bring that right arm up towards the sky, not required. You can always stay on your hip to support your balance and just keeping that hip quiet. Lengthening and reaching. Think less about how far the feet go and pointing the toes and more about yawning open the front side of the ankle and swiveling from the top of the thigh bones. Here we go for 4. We're going to stack our legs in 2 and hold both legs stacked, hold and breathe. Now we're going to reach both legs so long they hover a tiny and bring it back to start. But we're not going to let the feet touch if we can avoid that. We're just going to reach and extend. Thinking about the outer thighs magnetizing just like we started in those plies. Lengthening and reaching. In my own body, my top hip was rolling back a little bit, so see if you can keep that with a stacked hip. You should feel that bony bit on the yoga mat. I know it's not super comfy, but we're gonna make it anyways. Lengthening and reaching. Can you, with intention, come up and out of that shoulder a little bit more? Here we go for 4, 3, 2. Hold the legs long, stretching and reaching, even longer crown of head, stretching away from toes for 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring the legs down. Remove that block. Nice job, you guys. It's gonna go towards the end of your mat. We're gonna go into a bridge sequence using this yoga block under our left foot. So we're gonna be a little bit unlevel in our feet. So you've got the left foot flat on your yoga block. It's okay if your toes hang off the front a little bit, and the right foot is down flat on the mat. Once you've got that, arms come long at your sides. And you'll notice that your left hip kind of wants to pop up a little bit. Keep your hips as level as possible. Arms are active into the mat. And then we're gonna roll the tailbone, roll the pelvis, roll the low back. We're peeling up and off the mat as we lengthen and reach all the way up into your full bridge hold. Just check that you have the pelvis level. Maybe you can give it a little glance. Arms are long at your sides. And then we're gonna melt from behind the heart. Pause, and then pick it back up. So the pelvis hasn't really changed very much at all. We're just doing a reverse abdominal curl at the top. It's a tiny little curl, exhaling down and inhaling up. Keep working and just check in with that left knee. There's a very good chance it kind of wanted to slide out to the side. So you wanna make sure that the knees stay aligned right with the center of your hip and with big toe, second toe, rather than kind of dipping or wobbling around side to side. Keeping your pelvis pretty high. It's just a tiny curl from the top of the ribs. Good, beautiful. You got it, guys. We're gonna hold the next one up at the top of that bridge. Really recruit your palms, your forearms, your glutes. Really ask for the glutes to help suspend you, yeah? And then we're gonna take that left leg across your right thigh like we're making a figure 4. Beautiful. And we're gonna go into that full roll down from behind the heart. So now you've practiced that. We're melting from behind the heart, rolling all the way down, and then peeling it back up. So we have the left leg across in a figure 4. Start from behind the heart, through the middle back, low back, and then the pelvis uncurls. Just a few more here, opening through that hip, rolling and finding lots of length even as we roll, finding lots of flexibility through the outer hip on the left side. Let's hold the next one up at the top, hold and breathe. 5, 4, 3, reaching the right knee further away and bring it all the way down. All right, uncross your legs. We're gonna turn onto our sides again, and we're gonna go into some clamming. We're gonna have the option of using the yoga block. It is not required. We're gonna come all the way down onto our left arm, and your ear is gonna go onto your biceps. Then we're gonna take the yoga block between your ankles. I'm sorry, your heels. So notice that my toes are free, okay? So my toes are free. I'm in turnout with my legs. The bottom leg is bent and my knee is pointing straight forward. My heels are in line with my hips. From here, we are going to exhale. The knees come close together. They're not gonna touch. And then inhale, spiral that inner thigh forward. Exhale, bring it down. Now, if this is just all kinds of obnoxious for you, either smile and enjoy and get through it with me, or if it's just not for you today, you can always remove the yoga block and you can do your clamming with your heels touching, like so, rather than with the yoga block. What the yoga block is doing is adding that challenge and really requiring a closed energy chain. So you have to hold it there strongly in place in order to find that connection that's going up through the inner thighs and feeding into the core. Who's enjoying their yoga block this morning? I didn't hear anything. It's silent out here. Everyone's just enjoying the beautiful sunrise, I guess. Thinking about the top of that inner thigh spiraling open. And that's what's happening. Open the leg, yes. Instead of the knee just kind of towards the beach. Beautiful. Here we go for 3. You got it, gang. These look awesome. Keep it up. Really nice. Keeping both sides of the waistline long and the pelvis reaching away from your ribs. Hold the legs open in your clam. Hold and breathe. We're thinking about that bottom leg imprinting strongly down into the mat as the top leg spirals open, and go ahead and bring it in. Beautiful job, you guys. All right, we're gonna flip onto our hands and knees, and we are going to take the yoga block under your left knee. So it's gonna go the long way, and we're gonna bring our left knee onto the yoga block. But you wanna have your knee squarely on it, and you're gonna have your hands on the mat. We're gonna go into some hip unleveling here. So from this position, once you have your hands splayed out like starfish, we're gonna hover the right knee off the mat. You can keep your foot down for a second while you get your bearings. And then we're gonna bring the right knee in line with the left knee. So we're gonna aim to have ourselves pretty well centered, toes are off the mat. Now we're gonna think about the top of that left thigh bone. Can you feel that absorbing and sinking deeply into the dome of your pelvis? Excellent. One of us can. Just me and Jess against the world. All right, we're looking straight down at the mat, guys, and visualize the dome of your pelvis right on top of your femur bone, yeah? And then we're gonna roll the pelvis and dip the right side of the pelvis down. That's an exhale. And then we're gonna level it back out. That's an inhale. So it does not have to be a great big range of movement at all. Notice I didn't direct the right knee at all because I'm really after the left side of the pelvis, rolling over the thigh bone, and then you're getting deep into that glute med. Do you feel that all the way up to the waistline to bring yourself back to level? Good. So maybe once you feel like you've got the hang of it, maybe you can try to reach that right knee towards the mat. That's not the goal. That's just going to kind of give you an end range of movement to work with. So maybe your right knee taps down, maybe not. That's not the goal. That's just going to give you the end range of that movement. Here we go for 4. Lengthening that left hip away from your ribs as we work. Hold the right knee level with your left. You can even take a quick glance just to make sure you've got that true. We're gonna bend the elbows a little bit, so we're creasing at the front side of that left hip just a little. And then we're gonna reach that right leg long. So we're creating a nice diagonal line. And we're just gonna hold that isometric challenge, hold and breathe. Elbows can always come down if this feels aggressive on your wrist. You can choose elbows down or on your hands for 5. Reach that right inner thigh long, long, long for 4. For 3, left hip away from ribs for 2. And bring it all the way down. Nice job, you guys. All right, let's go ahead and set the yoga block aside for a moment. And we're gonna take our dumbbells into our hands. Come onto your backs for me, please. Legs go long in front of you. And then we're gonna bring our feet flat onto the mat. Knees are gonna bend. Take the hands up towards the sky, palms facing away from you. And then we're gonna invite your right leg up into tabletop and invite your left leg to join it up into tabletop. Heels come together and knees are gonna go outbound just like we did when we had the yoga block between our heels, but now we don't have the yoga block. Find your tailbone anchored into the mat, and we're gonna go into rotation. So we're gonna peel the right shoulder blade off the mat and the back of the head. My right hand is going in between my legs and my left hand is to the left side. That's an inhale. Exhale back through center. Now I'm gonna peel the left shoulder blade up, left hand goes between the legs and right hand goes to the side. And bring it back to center. So now you know the pattern, guys. Rotating and bring it back. So if you're familiar with working out on a wind reformer or on a reformer, you can kind of imagine that you have the long loops in your hands, finding that resistance in both directions, as if we're moving the arms through honey. And let's imagine that we also have the yoga block between our heels still. So what would you have to do to hold that in space? Keep working. Inhaling as you raise. Exhaling as you decelerate and lower back down. Good. Keeping length and space so that your low back isn't pressing down into the mat. I'm more interested in the length on the front side of the body. Beautiful. The dumbbells feel aggressive at any time. You can always set them down. Keeping the tailbone anchored. Maybe you spiral your inner thighs open a little bit more. Good. Even your body out and continue with your abdominal curls with your little rib lifts, but just taking the arms out to the sides. So we're just going to go out to the sides once we've gotten ourselves even. Inhale as the arms go long. Exhale, bring it back. Hold the arms long at your sides. Hold the arms long at your sides. Heels are strongly active. Hello, say hello to your neighbor. Reaching the crown of head long away from your tailbone. Finding lightness in your low back. It doesn't need to necessarily hover, but we don't want it mashing down. And I'm going to give you the option of extending the right leg out. Use the inner thigh strongly. Hold and breathe. If it's an option in your body, left leg can join it. Otherwise, you can switch sides. Pay attention to your low back. Hold and breathe. Arms are long. Legs are long. You're switching one leg at a time if it's up, if that's better for your body. Or you can hold for an isometric challenge for 5. Try to release the front side of the neck even more for 4, for 3, for 2, and bring it all the way down. Nice job, you guys. All right, let's go ahead and set the dumbbells off to the side. And we are going to take the yoga block between our heels on our clamming with our right side down. So right side comes down. Arm extends long, your ear goes onto your biceps, and then we're going to take the yoga block between our heels. If you know that's not for you, then we can just skip the yoga block. Once you've got yourself organized, you're going to have your hips stacked, you're going to have your bottom leg imprinting actively into the mat, exhaling down, and inhaling, swiveling the inner thigh open. Exhale, bring it down. Good. So the bottom leg is strongly imprinting down on the mat. Exhale as you draw the legs together. Inhale as you open. You're on your right side down. Right side down. Good. It's beautiful. Good, you guys. Inhale, thinking about that thigh bone, sinking deeply into the pelvis. Beautiful. So I'm less interested in how far your legs open, and I'm more interested in your pelvis staying stacked. Yes. So that's going to get you more than shifting the hip back and opening further. Good. Are we imprinting that bottom leg down strongly into the mat? So you're going to find lots of energy down through that bottom leg. So it's working nice and strongly, just like the top leg is. Let's hold the top leg open. Hold the top leg open. Thinking about the knee reaching away from the hip reaching away from the ribs. Gorgeous. And we're thinking about that inner thigh and the femur bone spiraling a little bit more deeply. 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring the legs down. Nice job, you guys. All right, this time we are going to take our right knee onto the yoga block and go into our 4-point knee. So take the right knee squarely on the yoga block. Hands come onto the mat like starfish. And then we're going to hover the left knee. You can keep the toes down to get yourself organized. And then we're going to have both toes off of the mat. Pelvis is level as best as we can achieve that. All right, you can even kind of glance, make sure you're pretty close. Collarbones are wide. Crown of head reaches long from the tailbone. Visualizing that right thigh bone, right? It's like a ball and socket joint sinking deeply into the pelvis. And then we're going to unlevel the pelvis. Exhale as we allow that left hip to melt. And then inhale, level it back up. So as you're working on that, I want you to really stay all of your energy focusing on the dome of the pelvis, really swiveling over the thigh bone, and the thigh bone is not changing. So we're going to aim not to shift side to side as much as possible. Keep it organized. Keep the right leg quiet and the action and movement is happening from the pelvis rolling over that stable thigh bone. It's kind of flipping it upside down from what we often do, moving the thigh bone through a stable pelvis. Now we're moving the pelvis over a stable thigh bone. You can add a little tiny bend in the elbows, finding breath in the elbows, making sure we're looking straight down at the mat rather than back at our knees. Let's hold this next one with the pelvis level. Pause. We're going to do a small bend in the elbows, little diagonal lean, make sure head is still in line with your spine. And then we're going to extend that left leg up and back. So we're creating one beautiful long diagonal line, reaching that left inner thigh back, opening space in the low back. You can always bring the elbows down if that feels better in your body. Ask for more from your right hip and your left shoulder rather than wrist and knee. Go to the hip and the shoulder for 3, for 2, and bring it all the way in. Nice work. All right, we're going to go into those bridges with the yoga block under your right foot. So lay on your back again. Left foot is squarely on the mat, and right foot is on the yoga block. It's okay if those toes hang off. Arms are long at your sides. And we are going to peel up, thinking about the tailbone rolling under, low back, middle back, upper back, and hold at the top of that first bridge. From this angle, you should be able to kind of see if your pelvis is level or not, making sure we have equal length on the waistline. And then we're just going to melt from behind the heart. So that's this little tiny curl. If you need a visual aid, you can glance this way real quick, you guys. Notice my hips are not moving at all. It's really this kind of reverse abdominal lift. So we're gonna melt down and then bring it right back up. And what I want you to do is put this in your pocket. For next time you're doing a bridge with the roll down, put this in your pocket and find how you can connect to the core, even when this is often looked at as a glute or hamstring exercise. I also want you to find a lot of intention down through the palms, down through the forearms. Use the arms and upper body and middle back to help support you, like the arms of the palms are sectioning into the neck. Yeah, good. I'm seeing knees fall outbound a little bit. Let's make sure the knees stay right aligned with the center of the hips. Yeah, and that's gonna help connect us to the inner thigh cores even better. Good. Keep that booty up, up, up. You got it, guys, keep working. Melt from behind the heart just a tiny, and then bring it back up, stretching the knees away from your pelvis. So good. Last one, go ahead and hold it all the way up at the top. Recruit the glutes, recruit the forearms and the palms. We're gonna take the right leg across the left. So we're going into that figure 4 position, and then we're gonna roll down using that information we have. That's exactly right. Behind the heart, lowering down first, and then peeling up from the tailbone. So we want to make sure we are doing that every time to get the most out of this move while we are finding deep core connection, as well as a lot of focus through the hips, the hamstrings, the glutes, inner thighs. We want to find it all working together. Just a few more here like this. Lots of length, space, and mobility through the spine. Maybe ask your right knee to go outbound a little bit more. This is going to be our last one, rolling down with intention. And go ahead and uncross your leg. Come on up. We're going to use this yoga block under our hip now. So we're going to go into that little scissor sequence. So you're going to have your right hip on the yoga block, and your right forearm is down on your mat. So your elbow is down, palm is open like a starfish again. Once you've got that situated, you're going to stretch both legs long, long, long. And we're going to make sure we are not relaxing into the shoulder or overloading into the elbow, okay? Crown of head reaches long away from your tailbone. If it's tense on your neck, you can always turn your gaze softly towards the mat. Here we go. small scissors. So thinking about the upper inner thighs swiveling back and forth. As we do this, the feet and ankles can get a little bit squirrely. They can start going all different directions. So try to keep everything as parallel as possible. Try to keep lots of length and lots of lightness on the elbow and shoulders. So we shouldn't feel a whole heck of a lot of weight loading into the shoulder. We really want the core to hold us here. You can make your scissor as small as you need to focus on that effort. I've got my left hand on the mat in front of me. That's also helpful for your balance if you need to. Extra challenge. You can bring the left arm up towards the sky. Either way works. And you stretch for even more length. So good, you guys. Inner thighs reaching longer than the soles of your feet. Kneecaps absorbing up into quadriceps. And are we still focusing on the thigh bones moving through the pelvis rather than the feet kind of kicking? Think about the thigh bones moving, sweeping through the pelvis. Let's do one more, and we're going to hold the legs stacked, hold and breathe, lifting off of that right elbow a little bit more, double leg raise. It might be invisible. You might even just think about it. I don't care, that works. You might just think about it. Just find that reach, find that length. Gorgeous. Hips are stacked. I love the focus, you guys. Keep it up. Here we go for 4. Less weight in that right elbow, please, for 3. Gorgeous. For 2. Amazing news. We're going to hold this last one. Hold and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring your legs down. Beautiful job. Really nice work, guys. All right, we're going to come over onto our knees. And you use the yoga block in between our thighs. So it's going to go the narrow way, like this. We're going to go into a 4-point hover situation. So we're going to have hands like starfish again on the mat, just below your shoulders. Walk your knees in line with your hips and flip your toes under. We're going to make sure we're lifting and just very gently rounding the upper back this time. So very gently. I'm still looking straight down, but I have a little intentional lift, kind of like how we were doing with the bridge, but now we're flipped over looking down. So it's this little curl from right under the heart. All right, here we go. We're going to exhale as we hover the knees and inhale super gently. Just touch your kneecaps onto the knee. Exhale as we pick it up. Inhale very gently. Exhale. I like to think about my abdominals inviting my legs off the floor and then bring it down. As you're working, think about not kind of squishing in on that yoga block. We want to think about almost coming away from it, almost like it has a little bit of a chance of falling down onto the mat. We want to find that connection. That's really going to help you connect into the inner thighs. I love that everyone's keeping their head in line with your spine. That looks great. Finding lots of length through the back side of the neck. As we're working, let's hold the next one up. Hold and breathe. Find some breath in your elbows for me. Maybe bend it like about 1/2 inch. Hold and breathe for 5. Can you give the yoga block a little more room without dropping it? For 3, for 2, and bring your knees down. We're going to stay on our knees and keep the yoga block where it is, but we're going to find our dumbbells. We're going to go into a little shoulder focused sequence. You can always set those dumbbells down, imagining we're moving through honey, or you can use a resistance band if you prefer. All right, here we go. We're going to float out to the sides, similar to how we started class, and then we're going to exhale, bring it down. So the yoga block is just kind of informing an inner thigh and core connection. Can you feel that, how we get a little bit of feedback? Inhale as we lengthen and reach, and exhale as we bring it down. Keeping our wrists in line with our forearms, rather than letting our hands kind of hang down like kitten paws. We want to find that reach. All right, layering on, we're going to bring it out, and then we're going to bring it forward and down. Dumbbells are totally optional. Lengthening, forward, and bring it down. Either way, whether we have dumbbells or free hands, we still want to imagine moving through honey or peanut butter, something delicious and sticky, so that we're finding that resistance in all directions. And exhale, bring it down. We're going to layer on again. We're going to bring the arms out, forward, up, and then back out to the sides. forward, bringing it back up, and out to the side. So move at your own pace. And we're gonna also intention through the shoulder blades, driving those dumbbells. So it's not gonna be about where the dumbbells go in space or where the arms go in space. It's about mobilizing your shoulder blades. So maybe you even close your eyes for the next few little repetitions of this sequence. And really intention from the shoulder blades. Down and around, opening wide and melting. Finding mobility, finding function through the shoulders. And we're gonna end out with the arms to the side. Again, you can choose if you have dumbbells or not. We're gonna go into a little side flexion. It's an inhale, and then exhale, bring it back to start. Inhale, fanning the ribs. Exhale, bring it back to start. So this is at your own pace. And the focus is on the ribs fanning. It is not on how far the arms travel. Just a few more here, gang. Last time we're going to fan the right ribs. Bring it up. Last time we're going to fan the left ribs. Bring it up. Stay here. Arms lower with intention to our sides. We're going to bow forward with long arms behind us. My palms are still facing inbound. I'm going to show you from the profile. So it's going to look like this. And we're going to reach the arms long. So again, dumbbells, no dumbbells, up to you, but I'm after that length, reaching the arms long, long, long behind you. Maybe you get a little lower to your heels. The yoga block's gonna prevent you from sinking all the way down onto your heels. That's okay, head is in line was fine. Try not to let the chin drop. Reaching the arms long, reaching the arms even longer rather than higher. Collarbones are wide for 4, for 3, 2, and lengthen the arms all the way out. Good. Bring the arms down, and we're going to finish off with a little sequence through our planks again. So we're going to have our hands nice and wide on the mat, like starfish. We're going to step one foot back at a time into our plank. Gang, it is always an option to have your knees down and tops of feet down if that's a better choice in your body. So pay attention to your body, tops of feet can be down. Once you are there with that plank, I'm just going to ask you to either slide your knee or your foot off to the side and then bring it back through center. I'm not leaving the mat, I'm just stepping out to the side and bringing it back through center. Catching into the waistline as we're working. And we're still recycling. Let's hold the right leg out to the side and just take the weight out of your toes. They might still touch, but have less support through those toes, really catching into that left inner thigh. Holding and breathing for 5, 4, 3. Bring the right leg back to center. We're going to sweep the left leg out. Find lightness through the toes, catching into the right inner thigh for 3, 2. Bring the feet together. Last challenge, holding for 8, 7, 6. Breathing 5, 4, 3, 2, and allow the knees to come down. Really nice job, you guys. We're going to go into a little straddle stretch to finish things out. So we're going to sit down on your mat, take the left leg long, and I have the right leg folded in front of me. We're just going to sit tall at first, take a nice deep breath, kind of settle in through the hips. And then we're going to take the left arm towards the ankle or all the way down to the toes if that feels better for you, and go into a side stretch. Stretching through the side body. We can rotate down. I've now got my right hand behind my right thigh. Folding. Keep holding that stretch and breathing. If this is tight in your body, take your yoga block under your right hip, and it's going to create more space for you. So that's always a good option to find a little more room through the hips as we're stretching. and go ahead and unwind, come up. We're going to go into a butterfly stretch. Again, a yoga block under your seat is going to be a great idea. And do a seated butterfly stretch. If you can do it flat on the ground, that works too, but this is a nice way to create some space and room in your hips as we're holding this butterfly pose. And just find a deep breath here. We're going to gaze down and just kind of round through the spine. Elbows come down and fold forward. Exhale, you can kind of articulate through the spine as we're holding. And go ahead and come up. We're going to keep the left leg folded. You can continue to keep that yoga block under your left hip, or you can slide it out. Either way works for me. We're going to let that right leg reach long. And just settle into that, asking an inhale breath to come into any areas of tightness you feel in your body. And we're going to reach towards that right ankle, and the left arm comes up and over, fanning through those ribs. And being intentional about our breath, about length in the body. And then you can rotate towards the side. Go ahead and slowly rise up. We're going to rise onto our feet and finish with a roll up today. So you're going to have your feet 4 inches apart parallel. Keep the hands up and overhead. Open your heart. Exhaling as we move the chin. Think about that bridge we did earlier where we're lifting into the ribs. Even as we sweep forward. Hands can come down to the mat. Let's bend the knees once a lot. Lengthening the legs. Hold for a breath here. Walk your hands onto your ankles or your shins, and we're slowly going to rise to the count of 8, 7, 6. Tracing your hands up the front side of your body with gratitude for every strong part of your body that gets you through that workout. Arms are going to float up and overhead. Hold at the top, guys. Thinking about your navel still drawing up and in, even when we have our upper back open, arms open, heart open. We're going to send the arms out to the side, flex your hands, we're going to reach your heels of your hands out to the side. Okay, the hands up and then stretch the arms a little bit longer. Okay, the hands up and in with the intention of the arms strongly and gorgeous work.